Hello everyone, welcome back to Spiritual Essence, and in today's video I want to talk about an experience that I had a while back with channeling. And I must say, it was not a good experience. First of all, what is channeling? Channeling is the ability to allow a spirit, whether it be demonic or human, to temporarily enter your body for the purpose of getting to know exactly what the spirit's intentions are, what kind of spirit is it, who is it, trying to get information out of it so that you can properly assess the situation. Not all psychic mediums are trained in the ways of channeling, but there are those who are born with the ability to do so. And quite a few of them actually will aid ghost hunters in investigations. Not all ghost hunters have access to such things, but there are those that do. And I did buy a book on channeling, but I have not read it yet. And this was way before I really got deep into spirituality and magic. So here's what happened. So years ago, my best friend Grace, she was with her boyfriend Jesse at the time, and he told me about experiences he was having in his house. And he said there was a presence that was mostly felt up in the attic, and it just didn't seem to be a very good spirit. And so, while over Facebook, I was talking to him about his experiences, what was going on, what did he think it was, and I was trying to help. And I had heard about channeling, and I was, at the time, I was working on different spiritual abilities, like I was working on future sight, and I was also, I attempted telekinesis, but of course I failed at that. And I was also trying telepathy, which I had a few successes, but not really anything worth talking about. I like correctly guessed numbers that people were thinking in their head, but it wasn't often that was right. And as for future sight, I've mentioned this before in my previous videos that I did have success with that. But anyway, so I had never done channeling before, and I said, hey, I'm going to try and channel whatever spirit's in your house and see what it wants. And this was over Facebook. This was long distance. You know, he didn't live too far from me, but we were not in the same place at the time. So I tried to concentrate on the spirit that resided in his house, and I had been to his house like once. So, and I was just trying to focus in. I envisioned a door, and with my mind, I opened it and allowed the spirit to come in, and it happened actually pretty quickly. And I all of a sudden, my whole body just was filled with like this anger. I don't even know where it was coming from. It was just a lot of anger, and I was struggling to compose myself the way I would normally compose myself. I was twitching all over, my body was shaking, and I had the urge to continue to talk to Jesse on Facebook, but just say nothing but swear words towards him, say horrible things toward him. And it took everything in my will to not do that. I was just, I felt horrible. And usually with channeling, mediums will go under. They will not remember everything that happened. Some do, some don't, but ultimately, usually they go under and let full control over their body. I did not. I still had a little will because I was afraid what would happen if I let full control. And to be honest, considering that I was so inexperienced with such things, I probably should not have done this. And it was very risky. And I was living with my parents at the time. I didn't want to pose harm to them or, anyone really around me. So all of a sudden, I focused in on my mind and I shut the door and I envisioned the spirit leaving back to the house. And all of a sudden, that energy just lifted from me. And ever since that time, I have not done that again. And it's been about I want to say 7 years now. It has been since that time. And I have never done another channeling session. Well, because channeling can be very dangerous, especially if one allows a demonic spirit to enter their body. And those who are trained in the ways of channeling, there are people who are born with the ability to do so, but there are those who can actually teach themselves to be a channeling medium. They go into it knowing the risks, but they have this ability to control things in a way where the spirit cannot possess their body completely. I want to say it might have something to do with the ability to control their auras. They may allow like a doorway to appear in their aura to allow a spirit to do so, since this is sorry, the cat was kind of rustling, but I don't exactly know how it all works. I'm just guessing at this point that they might have the ability to open their aura enough to allow a spirit to temporarily come in and then have the ability to shut them out. Now, normally with a psychic medium, whenever they channel a spirit, there are people around them, people who can help. Usually they're surrounded by a group of ghost hunters that they are associated with to make sure that if the spirit is negative, that things do not escalate. I was by myself, so I was taking a big risk. I was not experienced with channeling at all. I took a very big risk, and it could have affected my body badly. It could have affected the people in my environment badly. So that is why, even though I want to learn about it, I want to see what all is entailed with it and how people who actually know about this, how they work things. Not because I exactly want to do it, but I want to learn about all kinds of different spiritual paths and religions and psychic abilities, because it's good to know this stuff. It is good to know. It's good to be prepared. I heard this quote from a certain YouTube channel. It's like, if you stay locked and loaded, you never have to search for ammo. And that's how I look at psychic abilities. Stay locked and loaded. But that is my experience with channeling. It wasn't a good experience. It didn't feel good. And we didn't really end up getting to the bottom of anything because the spirit was very agitated. And like I said, I was inexperienced. So it didn't turn out well. And I would not recommend anyone try channeling who is not experienced with it. It can be very dangerous. If you want to learn about it, search for it. There are tons of articles on the internet. There's probably YouTube channels that are dedicated to such things. Once I read my book, I'd be glad to tell you about what I learned. But as of right now, it has not happened. But just be careful out there, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell button so you don't miss any of my future uploads. And have a good day, everybody.